What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is Headbanging Through It. I'm Jamie. Guess what, guys? I have a guest today.
Hello, my name is Quinn. I am related to Jamie only through a past marriage with my mom. Your guys' brother Steve used to be married to my mom, and I
That's
haven't
right.
I haven't seen or talked to most of you guys since I was a little kid, and I'm almost a 28-year-old grown man.
A 28-year-old grown ass man.
Yep,
Crazy. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I haven't seen you guys since your wedding.
My wedding. Wow. When did I get married?
It's like 2015 or 14. I was still in high school.
That's a good question. When did I get married?
Whoop, that's not a good thing to show.
I
Sorry,
don't
husband, if
know.
you're listening.
At least 10 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Oh
How's things?
man.
How's life? I don't even know where you are right now. Where do you live now?
I'm still in Abbotsford. I live with a
Okay,
couple of
Abbotsford.
roommates. Like I was just telling you, we live in a pretty gross, shitty, rundown BC box, but we're trying to make it a little bit better.
So you
Um,
live like with a bunch of people? How many roommates do you have?
right now it's four of us total. We used to have five of us here for a little bit. Yeah,
That's
it's
a
been a
lot of
lot.
people. I guess that's kind of how you have to live nowadays, hey, because everything's so fucking expensive.
Yeah, even if I was going to my healthcare job right now and I was living alone, I'd have no money for myself.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys are surviving.
Yep.
So you're 28. What generation is that? Is it Gen Z?
I never remember. It's like I don't really care. I look at that stuff, but
You guys are fucked. Your generation's fucked. Sorry,
yep,
bud.
it's okay. I'm quite aware
You're
of it.
in for it. The world is chaotic and doomed, I think, but
Yeah, hopefully we can figure things out and get back to normal. Yeah,
yeah.
it's been crazy. It's like obviously you're aware of my dad passed about 5 6 years ago, so that you know.
Yeah,
So,
your mom told me, and that was a crazy story.
yep, it was
Yeah.
very abrupt and sudden, and wasn't like a natural thing where I got to say goodbye to him and be with him. It was just like my mom had to come because my dad, for being my dad, of course, he had not updated like his will or any of his contact information. So I was like, mom was still the emergency contact, and she had to go identify the body, and then she had to come tell me because he had just kicked me out of our old place on Babbage here in Abbotsford, and I was living
Yeah.
at an apartment by myself, or I was living in an apartment with my roommate at the time, different
Hmm.
roommate. And she had to come tell me the news and tell Mason the news, and we all had to go to the house. And I chose not to see the body because I didn't want that to be the last memory of him. The last memory I did have with him was fairly decent. I don't even think he remembered I was there just because he was so whacked out on drugs and alcohol. But it was still a good last memory that I had with him, so I didn't want to taint that or sully it.
Yeah, well, I would say that going to look at a body is a pretty big fucking deal too.
Yeah,
And 5, 6 years ago, you would have been what, like 22, 23?
yeah, it would have been like
I
21,
mean,
22 at the time.
in my 40s, I don't think that I would be doing that
No,
either. So I don't blame you for that.
yeah, it's like Mason didn't want to either, so.
Yeah. Well, that is something that you carry with you for a long time. As somebody that worked in emergency services and have seen photos of bodies
Yeah,
that have destroyed my life forever, I can't imagine what that would be like in person. That would be like next level something. So I think that was, maybe a good choice.
And then I'm quite thankful that in my short healthcare career so far that I haven't had to do any end of life care and deal with that because I don't know how I would have handled it.
Yeah, it's the people that do that hold a lot for sure.
Yeah, some people are just tougher than me, I guess, but
I don't think it's about being tough. I think it's
yeah,
about personality and I don't know, compartmentalizing, I guess. And, I have talked to people that podcast I did on my PTSD. I've had a couple people reach out to me. One particular friend that I used to work with, and I don't know how old he would be, but he probably was in his 40s when I started working there. And he said he was not impacted by
hmm,
the job.
interesting.
And I was like, really? I was shocked to hear that.
Yeah,
So I guess there are like different ways that it sits with people that it doesn't really like hit them as hard. I don't know. I guess it just depends on who you are.
yeah. I guess I mean for some like your old coworkers, I guess I could see the aspect of it being like, oh, you weren't close with them or you weren't super personal. It's like they weren't family, immediate family. So it's like maybe they
Yeah.
can maybe they can make that separation in their brain and not feel
Yeah.
affected by it, or like police officers that see horrors all the time. Maybe they can.
Yeah. They're trained, but I think they're also human, right? Like, how do you shut that part of you
Uh,
off?
I maybe they aren't human. I don't know, because like
I don't
how.
know. As someone that only feels all emotions all the time, I don't know what that's like, so I can't
Yeah,
relate.
yeah, that's a tough one for sure.
But yeah. So backstory on your dad. Do you want to talk more about that? We're gonna dig into mental health stuff. You've had a lot go on in your fucking life.
Oh yeah.
You've had the passing of your dad. You've had lots of other stuff going on. Let's dig into some of that and let's talk about. I would love to hear, just from your perspective as a male, because I can only talk about what I go through as a woman.
Exactly.
What your mental health like stuff is like and how
Mhm.
you're handling that and yeah, what happened to your dad? Like, what's the story around that?
Um, I do appreciate that you asked, because most it's just a good thing to ask, but it always makes me happy to be able to talk about them, even the shitty parts
Yeah.
of it, because it's important to me at least. It's like maybe some other people in my family like might not want to talk about it, but for me it's
Well,
just
I
it
think
kind
there's
of
a lot around, what happened to him
yeah.
and the underlying stuff behind that too, right?
Yep.
Like that's a big conversation.
I mean, I don't
Hmm.
even know where it really started, but it's like he was getting into the liquor, and he was heavily addicted to ketamine, and starting to just, me and mom thought he was starting to develop Korsakoff syndrome, which is drug and alcohol dementia.
Oh yeah,
Because he
okay.
would come into my room and be like, "Oh, I got to show you this thing," and I'm like, "You just showed me this thing like 5 minutes ago." And he had
Oh,
like no
interesting.
recollection that he walked upstairs and went to my room and showed it to me, and then he'd do it again and again and again, and just like forget really simple things, very forgetful.
Yeah, well, ketamine is fucking intense.
Yeah,
It like really fucks up
as
your
someone
brain.
who's apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I've had problems with it in the past too. So
Oh,
it's
have
a
you? Yeah. I
it's a
tried it
nasty.
once as a teenager and I was like, "What in the fuck is this?"
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
again, I'm very open to drugs. I don't think drugs are inherently bad. It's all about using them in the correct time and place. Like fentanyl is a good example. On the streets, it's fucking deadly.
Yeah.
When you get it administered for like a surgery or for pain, great. It's like the doctor's there, the nurses are there, they do it all proper. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
when
had
you start,
fentanyl when I was pregnant or like about to go into labor with my son. Very small dose. I was scared shitless just because
yep,
I didn't know a lot about it and all I knew was that it kills people on the street. And I
yep.
was like, "Fuck, you use that in here? You're going to put that in my body?" I freaked out, but it ended up being obviously, I mean, completely fine.
Yep.
Regulated, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had I think I told you about it on text or something. I was just in a wrong place, wrong time one couple years ago, right before my dad passed, and I was at some friend's house, and I guess her crazy ex-boyfriend busted down the door and beat the shit out of me, and uh, I didn't realize that my shoulder was dislocated for 10 days.
Oh my
It
God.
was pushed out and sticking up against my
Just
clavicle.
hanging out, bone sticking out.
Yeah, so I had to go to the hospital on like emergency surgery, and they gave me a propofol, which is akin to fentanyl or ketamine, where it's just a very powerful dissociative and just knocks you out like that.
Oh,
So yeah,
crazy.
that happened around the time my dad passed, and then yeah, just like for 99% of my life, he was a good person. He was a good dad. He was very generous and helped anyone and everyone that asked for it and didn't expect a return. And then just, got lost in the drugs and the drinking. And he started being super racist, super sexist. I remember he was always talking shit on mom, like, oh, she left us and she fucked you guys up. It's like all the things that just, as an adult now and that I've had time to move on and reflect from that stuff, it's like, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Mom, as parents, you do the best you can. It's like no one's perfect, right? It's like most of the time when you're having kids, you're still just a kid yourself. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, and as parents, we're moving through life. I mean, we don't know what we're doing, right? This is our first time around in this world as well. So
yeah,
we're learning as we go, right? And yeah, sometimes relationships don't work out well, and kids interfere with that too, right? Like kids make everything harder. And if your relationship isn't really like in the right place, then everything can crash.
yeah. Again, he was a good person up until he wasn't.
Yeah. And then it just like went sideways.
Yep.
Hey, so like, how did he die?
So the official autopsy was accidental drug overdose of Tylenol.
Are you serious?
No, I am not joking.
Of Tylenol?
Yeah, so at the time, he had just gotten like some pretty heavy dental work done. So, and then him being super racist again. Apparently, I wasn't there for it, but he told me that a bunch of brown dudes pulled him out of his car and like beat him up. So he had like some broken ribs or something. It sounds like the ramblings of a crazy person because he was
Yeah.
also still drinking and doing drugs. Yeah, with the Tylenol, the day after it happened, we had to start, cleaning out the house because it was basically a rental place. And he had like a lined piece of paper, and he was writing out all the times that he was taking like the painkillers and the Tylenol and the ibuprofen, and it was just like unintelligible chicken scratch, like. To him, it probably looked good, but I could barely read it, and it's just like he likely took too much. And the thing with Tylenol, if you take more than, I think it's 25 times the normal amount, your liver just shuts down.
That's like a lot of Tylenol.
Yeah,
like heavy Tylenol, like T3s.
They're like the 500 milligram ones, so it's
just regular Tylenol.
Yep, just over the counter. And this isn't the first time it's ever happened in human history. It is.
Oh, I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah, it is very unlikely, but there are quite a bit of cases of it that this has happened before.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's people. When people hear that, they're like, "What?" Because a lot of people knew what he did, right? So it's like
it was over the counter, regular fucking Tylenol.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You were young. You were 22, 23, and brother is like a couple years younger than you.
Mason's about 2.5, 3 years younger.
Yeah. Okay. So young.
Still a teenager,
Yeah, and your dad was young. He died young.
He was 49. He was just shy of 50.
Just a few years away from how old I am. Like not far off. That's fucking crazy.
It was a month away from his birthday. It's just like
crazy.
He always talked about it too. He's like, I'm almost 50.
Huge impact on you guys' lives for sure. Yeah.
And then if I can get into my mental health, it's like...
Yeah, let's talk about your mental health. So, I mean, I imagine that losing your dad had a huge fucking impact on your mental health. Yeah.
100%.
But prior to that, you were struggling already. Like, you and I have had a couple of brief conversations about, you being on meds for something and having depression and that kind of stuff. Like, when do you think that started? And can you talk about that a little bit?
For sure. I'll start with the insomnia because that's the one I can kind of date back the most in my brain pretty accurately. I remember being as young as like 8 years old and just not being able to sleep. Just couldn't turn my brain off. I always say I have crack brain because I'm just go. Oh, I overthink to the most extreme degree. I just can't turn my brain off at night. Never told mom, never told dad about it. Just, go to school and just be exhausted all the time. And then I learned pretty quickly. I didn't obviously know the name of it at the time. My 8-year-old brain figured out what deep sleep meditation was, and that if I just focused on my breathing, I could fall asleep. Yeah, I wasn't actually diagnosed with that or the depression until I was about 17, 18, 19 maybe. Around 2018 or so.
Well, sleep is like, if you're not sleeping, then... Yeah, I mean, I barely slept this week, and I feel like I'm turning into a psychopath. Like, I don't feel like a sane person at all. If you're not sleeping, your brain's not working, and that generates complete, like, chaos in itself.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the depression stemmed from the insomnia, or, again, I was 13 years old when I started smoking weed. And then...
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, we're all depressed when we're 13, I think.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Like,
I don't know. I can only speak from personal experience, but I feel like that age is just kind of like an age where nobody knows what they're doing, and everyone's like, I don't understand myself. I don't know who I am. Where do I fit in? What box am I supposed to be in? What group am I supposed to be in? You're always just trying to figure out like where you're going and what you're doing. I think that is just like a huge piece of coming of age, and you put like not sleeping on top of that, and then I'm sure there are other things, but it just like, it starts to get deeper and deeper, right?
Yeah, the depression is a little bit harder to track for me because it's like, again, I was a very mopey and sad teenager in high school, but again, that could have just been regular hormones. But again, I attribute a lot of things that that happens in my brain now to the underage drug use. Like, there's a reason they tell you not to do them before your brain is fully developed because it tanks your brain. And like, next week I'm going to get assessed to see if I have ADHD and anxiety because I've been
And like,
lately dealing with all of these things related
right.
to my healthcare job, where it's like, ugh.
So you say early, like young drug use, like you're just smoking weed or what else were you doing?
So yeah, smoking weed by 13, and it wasn't just like here and there. It was like every day if I could. Uh, Psilocybin mushrooms by 15, LSD by 17,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
LSD will fuck you up.
yep, that one's yeah. There's a reason why people say don't do it. I don't regret anything though, because I've learned a lot through my experiences with substances, and I always remember being posed. I think it was sometime during my schooling we were talking about it, and the teacher said substance abuse, and like I was like, I'm not really comfortable with the word abuse because I don't see it as abuse personally, but it probably is. um
Frequent use.
yeah, yeah, I don't, again, no regrets. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have met a lot of people or be here if I didn't do those. Like, again, would have been a completely different life. So it's, I like to think about that stuff, but it's pointless. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that that's part of being a teenager too, is
yeah.
like having that experimental phase.
Mhm.
I don't know. I also had that, and me and my friends dug into a lot of shit. I
Yeah.
smoked a ton of weed too. There's pieces of that, like not having a clear head, that
Mhm.
can impact your mental health. I guess
Yeah.
it also depends again on like how much you're doing and how much you're putting into your body, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because personally, I'm same here. I'm trying to, in the last couple weeks I've gotten off smoking it, and I'm vaporizing now, which it's not better, it's not healthier per se, but I'm just like trying to lower the tolerance and become less dependent. I think all drugs should be used as tools in the right scenarios, and but yeah, after 17, it was pretty much everything. On my 18th birthday, it was like MDA, MDMA, DMT, ketamine. I attribute a lot of things to all of that. Doing it before I was old enough to.
Digging into all this shit,
Yeah.
and then the chemicals are just like fucking with your psyche, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then what are the prolonged, effects of that?
There's tons with a lot of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you could get
Mm-hmm.
psychosis, specifically long-term effects with like ketamine is like it destroys your bladder. Like my dad always like pissed blood and stuff.
Oh God.
It can cause like severe cognitive and motor function problems.
Yeah.
Again, you're basically just trying to get dementia early on if you're doing that stuff all the time.
Yeah, memory loss and like, yeah, it's all
Yeah,
fucked up.
and then yeah, I currently still take my SSRIs, mirtazapine, 30 milligrams at night. Helps with the sleep and the mood.
So you started taking meds when? So you're diagnosed with depression like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, probably around
And then
2018. It was like right after I graduated high school, probably a year or so.
okay. And then you started taking meds like how long after that?
I can't quite remember, but it was sometime between 2017 and 2018 that
Yeah.
I was just going through some stuff, and I remember being at mom's house in Chilliwack, and she just came down and was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I hate myself. I hate my life. I want to die. Like, I'm not happy ever. I don't want to take care of myself. The things that I enjoy doing aren't making me happy." Me being a hippy dippy, I always used to be like, "Oh, fuck big pharma. I'm never gonna take medications." And she's like, being mom,
I'm with you.
managed to convince me like it's worth trying out, right? And if it
Yeah.
doesn't, then that's that. And so we went to a clinic and talked to a family doctor. Wasn't like our family doctor, it was just some walk-in clinic doctor, but did like a basic questionnaire type thing and was like, yep, sounds like you're dealing with these things, and prescribed the mirtazapine.
So what
which
is
again,
mirtazapine? I don't know that one.
it's also called Remeron.
Okay.
It's generally more given to males.
Okay. Interesting. Why?
Can't quite remember, but there's something that just all substances affect everyone differently, regardless
Totally,
if it's
yeah.
legal or not. Alcohol, cigarettes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's generally more prescribed to males. Yeah, there are side effects where it's like I gained a lot of weight. It's pretty healthy weight, but I also just didn't really exercise a lot and ate garbage, so it's like I got a little bit of tubbiness and some chunks that I'll get rid of eventually. But the other big one for me is it destroys my libido like 100%. Like TMI.
No.
I can't maintain an erection. I can't get one even if I'm stimulated. It's like that part of it I do not like.
That's fucked.
Yeah. Because it's like
And really
I'm,
sad.
I'm,
You're in your 20s.
yeah, I'm a 28-year-old male. I should be able to do, have that excitement with a female or even a male, because I'm still
Yeah.
bisexual to this day as well. So
Yeah. So have you considered switching it? I know that there's like so much as somebody that's been on SSRIs and come off them, I know there's so much around how hard it is to go on and off them and switch and all
Yeah.
those other things. And then is another one going to be better? Is it the same with them all across the board? I don't know. Everything I've looked into and read about SSRIs is pretty much all the way around. They're just garbage, right? Like they just fuck
Yeah.
up our bodies so much. Not that, I mean, and each to their own. I'm not saying I was on them for almost like 7 years, right? And they saved my fucking life. So
Yeah.
no, I have no fucking judgment around anyone that takes them, uses them, for whatever they need them for in their lives. It is a really big fucking deal.
Yeah, because again, you hit everything on the nail there. It's like these are not substances that you're supposed to stay on long term. They're
No.
short term. You're supposed to they're meant to rewire the things in your brain that aren't working properly, and then you get off of them.
Yeah.
And for me, again, I've been on mine for a long, long time too, and I've had, some stints where just like I forgot to pick up my prescription or they didn't get delivered or something. And it's quite noticeable where it's like, as soon as I'm off them for a couple days, it's like I can't sleep, major depression, suicidal thoughts. And so after a couple of stints of that happening, I just made the decision that I need to stay on them because without them, I'm a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, well, crashes like that are insane, and
Yeah.
not like if your body's going through like immediate withdrawal from not having them, then
Yeah.
that is like a significant crash. And those, I mean, I've been through that. I know what that's like. It's fucked. I tapered down in tiny, tiny, tiny,
Yeah.
tiny increments, and my crashes were massive. So, not taking them for a couple days, I would imagine, would be like fucked.
Yeah, it's really bad. And then
Yeah, that doesn't mean that like it's like that all the time if you're not on them anymore. Not
Yep.
saying that you should be off them, but like
I would like to get off them because lately I haven't been having any depressive episodes or the suicidal thoughts or any of that stuff, and I think that they've done their job, but I've been on them so long, and I
know.
can't just go. I can't go cold turkey. I would have to be
No,
supervised.
you cannot. No
Yeah.
one should do that.
No.
Like-
some people can and they can make it work. But
Really?
Not me.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think anyone should go cold turkey off of an SSRI. Yeah, they're just like really intense.
Yep. But yeah, I feel like I'm ready to get off of them, and even with me possibly having ADHD and anxiety now, people have been asking like, "Oh, are you open to meds?" And I'm like, "Sure." And if they don't work, then fuck them.
And like, what do the ADHD meds look like? Is that much different than the stuff that you're on now? Is it also an SSRI? I guess you probably don't really have all that information
Yeah,
yet.
no. As far as I know, it's kind of like they're all like, oh, I have some friends that take medications, and it's like there's not just one ADHD and anxiety med. It's like there's 30, 40, 50, 100.
Yeah,
And
just
they
like
all affect everyone
antidepressants.
differently. And yeah, I had a friend, can't remember what he was on, but he had similar things like where it also destroyed his libido. And like again,
Yeah.
different type of pill, different type of works on your brain. So again, I'm open to trying the meds out, and if they help, they help. If they don't, get off of them. Because there's a lot
Yeah.
better things that we can do naturally to combat these things. Like
Totally.
there's this cool study and graph that Mason showed me recently. I'd have to find it, but it's like a list of like the 20 things that are more effective than SSRI. And you want to know,
yeah, I'd
you
like
want
to
know what
see
the
that
top
list.
thing was?
Eating and sleeping.
Dancing.
Oh.
Dancing is like 20
Does
times.
moshing count?
Yeah, literally, like headbanging it. No, quite literally, and there's stats to prove this.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Dancing is 20 times more effective than taking an SSRI.
Yeah, endorphins, people.
Yep, and then there's a bunch of other things like good exercise,
Find joy.
good eating food, singing, playing music.
Well, dancing's a form of exercise. So like sleep, eating, exercise. I mean, and those are just like regular things across the board that people, is the thing that you do to help but it's not the only thing, right?
Yeah.
You also have to be like actively digging into the underlying issue of like why you're fucking sad.
Exactly.
Underneath all the medication and all the other stuff that was going on when you were like whatever 17 or 18, like, and let's dig into depression because I've been there. I've been in those fucking dark spaces. I've lived in them for many years of my life, in and out all the time. And like when you're in that dark space, what's the messaging that's going on in your brain, right? It's like helplessness and hopelessness and I'm not good enough and I don't like myself. And like, where does that stem from?
Yeah.
It comes from somewhere,
100%.
right? And like, are pieces of us that are controlling our moods in those spaces of like, I just don't want to exist like this. I
Yep.
don't want to be like this. I don't want to be me. I don't want to, nothing that I do is enough. And like, where does that come from? It's like for me in my PTSD, it's like the hopelessness of the world and like, how the fuck are we ever gonna like get better as a society? I just
Yeah.
feel that
No,
I don't know where
there's
yours stems from, but mine is like total despair all over the place everywhere I look.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some unleft trauma and maybe some PTSD going on in my brain too, just from bad place, bad time. I got robbed at gunpoint once.
Yeah, you told me about that. And how old were you when that happened?
That was probably also around the same time, like 17, 18. I was
So
just
you had a lot going on all at once.
Yeah, I was just walking up the street and near my house, and some guy stopped me like, "Hey, you got time?" And I, looked down at my watch, and the next thing you know, he's pointing a gun at me. Could have been real, could have not been real, could have been loaded. I wasn't taking any chances. He's just like,
Doesn't really
hand over the
matter in
phone, the
that.
key, the wallet, that type of stuff.
Yeah, you're a fucking teenager, so that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
I couldn't really see his face. Could have been an adult. Could have been my age. Who knows? Yeah, I like had paranoia about that for sure. Like was constantly checking my windows and doors. Like, oh, did this guy like follow me to my house? Like, yeah. And then with
Yeah.
depression, it's just like tons of like high school heartbreaks that threw me through a loop, and friends not treating me with respect, or again, I've had a lot of friend groups in the past where I'm like trying to push a certain thing or an event or a hobby that we can all do together, and it's just like no one cares, no one respects me or appreciates me or reciprocates, and it's just like, well, I guess I'm not doing that again.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much like self-doubt, self-denial with depression, and
Rejection.
rejection just
Right?
sucks. No one wants to say no one wants to hear no, right? It's like
No one.
nobody. Yeah,
And then you're left by yourself with this completely by yourself without the people that you thought would be there, thinking like, how come nobody wants to do this with me?
And then
Yeah.
it's like when you get in those states and those lines of thinking, it's like an echo chamber where it's just like
Yeah.
you're saying these things or you're thinking these things and you're just like repeating them, and then it's like you convince yourself that this is probably true. It's like no wonder no one likes me, right? Because I'm a fucking nightmare. But that's again not always the case.
Yeah. And when you're sitting in those cycles of like every time you get low, you're telling yourself that. I mean, I fucking do it. I definitely do it.
Yep.
Mine is always like, I'm invisible, like not just in my life, but like
Mhm.
in my own fucking house. Sometimes I feel, I have kids. Nobody
Yep.
fucking listens to me. And then growing up in my family, right? There's 4 fucking kids in my family. My parents were cops. They were never home. So there's like levels of that. And then you get in these spaces and you're like, I'm all alone. Nobody sees me. And what's the point?
Mhm.
Right? Like all these things are going on and you're in your space of feeling like rejected and, not liked and probably a piece of invisibility as well too, right? Like what is it about me that nobody can connect with?
Yeah.
Loneliness is a huge fucking
Yep, we're dealing with a loneliness pandemic, man, female, especially men right now. Like, I have roommates, I have friends, I talk to family every day. There's times where I still just feel isolated or trapped in my home, and it's like I know that's not the case, but why do I still feel that way, right?
Yeah, why do we still feel? I don't know. I don't know why we feel that way.
Yeah, I've just always
Yeah.
been the very lone wolf. I don't try to pester people with my problems. I hate to complain or sound like I'm complaining. Yeah, it's just like all these weird things that it's like clearly I just, was treated wrong by enough people, and these are defense mechanism, right? Like I'm very aware that I have many masks. I have many masks for many different people in many different scenarios.
Yeah.
It's like, where did it all start, right? It's like I had a good
Where did it all
pretty
start?
good family life growing up, right? Like I wasn't abused or neglected, and it's like I still ended up with these problems.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, I still think it's the drugs, but
It could just be the drug.
well, because it's like even if I waited till 25 and I had undiagnosed stuff, I still could have ended up in the same place. So that's why
Totally.
you hear all these stories about schizophrenics who didn't know they were schizophrenic and then took LSD, and it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
they're
Chemical
done.
induced psychosis,
yeah,
right?
they're done.
Completely fucked. I've seen that happen a lot around here. I mean, we have fucking Shambhala where I live.
Oh, yeah.
People running around naked. They're crazy.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I used to go every year, and I'm trying to go again this year, but
Yeah, right. Didn't you come? You came through in year with your dad, didn't you?
I used to go there with my dad every year. The last year I went was 2022 with my ex at the time. I plan to spread some of his
You were
ashes.
here and you didn't call me?
I know, right?
That's
Like,
rude.
but I'm terrible. I should have visited or something. But I'm trying to this year. But yeah, 2022. I wanted to spread some of his ashes up there, and it's Shambhala. It gets too crazy, and I was hoping to do it like on one of the early entry days, so there weren't a lot of people around, because
Yeah.
it's a pretty personal, private thing to do. You don't want to be spreading ashes in the wind and that shit goes in people's eyes or something.
Bunch of hippies running around.
Yeah, and then it just didn't end up happening. Then trying to go this year. I've definitely learned that I can't go every year because it's way too much. Like, not just the expenses of it, but like everything about it. And with me, trying to be mostly sober these days, it's like
Mostly sober.
again, I've been smoking weed half my life. It's
Yeah.
much easier said than done to try and quit.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot.
As much as
Yeah.
I love Shambhala, that was my dad's place. Like, he thrived up there. I was always just there for the ride, Last year I went there. I was like 99% sober at the time, and I just didn't want to do drugs, and I wanted to experience everything. But for me, it's still quite a slippery slope. Like, all it takes is like a slight influence from a friend or something, or I see a drug, and it's like, oh, I want to do that now. So yeah.
And that place is just like an infestation.
Yeah, for me, I have to be mindful and aware about it, or I'll just fall back into the same old habits, and yeah, it's not good. But yeah,
Yeah, watching your dad go through that, right,
Yeah.
is something that sticks to the back of your mind too.
I remember, because he would always get way too messed up, and I would have to take care of him. It was always kind of funny. I was like, hey, you're kind of being a bad dad right now. Like, I got to take care of you. I always got some sort of joy or catharsis out of it, just because it's like, again,
Fair.
we're family, right? We're supposed to take care of each other. And then the last year I went where he wasn't there, it was like bittersweet. It was like, I miss it, but at the same time, I fucking don't.
Yeah.
But
and
yeah,
like,
I'm just gonna try and go on like every 5 or 10 years. I can't go every year anymore.
yeah, just in like memory of your dad.
He loved that place more than anything, and I always just felt like I was a tag along. Even
Yeah.
when I got my own friends and stuff. When you're there for a week, you're like, I need to fucking go home and sleep in my own bed and take a shower and not be surrounded by. It's like, even if you go there sober, that shit's just in the air. Everyone's like sweating out the drugs, and it's just like all around. It's like, I didn't used to believe in contact high, and then I had it happen at Chom's the first time. I was like stone cold sober, and I was like chewing my jaw like I was on ecstasy, and I was like, this is
Maybe I am.
yeah, maybe I am. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing about that appeals to me. I've never been. I've lived here for 25 years and I've never gone. I don't want to.
Not for everyone.
I've been to enough. Well, I used to go to fucking raves in my youth, and I've been to enough of places like that. Too many people for me too, and too many drugs. And also, I'm just fucking old now.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that shit anymore. Okay, so you're now in a space of being on SSRIs for quite a few years. You're 28, so like a decade.
I'll be 28 in May. Yeah, I've been on them probably close to 10 years or so.
That's a long fucking time.
Yep. I can talk for another hour about the last year of my life being in the healthcare program, and then in the last couple days of my clinical, I was already graduated, passed all the exams, did the ceremony. My dad's dad, my grandpa Bob, passed away, and
just recently. Okay,
yeah.
so what's this health? Sorry, what is the healthcare? What did you say?
The program's called HCAP. It stands for Health Career Access Program.
Why in the fuck were you doing that?
In 2025.
Why were you doing that?
Oh,
after the shit that your mom went through with her healthcare career, I'm actually fucking shocked.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I remember I didn't have a job at the time and I was struggling.
For people listening,
Yeah.
Quinn's mom used to work as a registered nurse.
Yeah. Or
in the Lower Mainland.
LPN, I think. I don't think she ever went for RN.
Was she an LPN for a very long time?
Yeah, like 10 years or so.
Your mom is a badass, fantastic human. She is not someone that really will like take shit from anyone.
Yeah.
And I heard so many stories about her working in the healthcare of like people just beating the crap out of her and screaming and swearing and like it broke down. I should have her on the show to talk about all the ways it broke her down. It's probably similar to like what I went through in emergency services, but like it really did like destroy like pieces of her. I've talked to her lots over the years about that. So I'm really surprised that she did not try to prevent you from doing something in the healthcare world.
Well, again, I wasn't working at the time, didn't have a job, was struggling.
Yeah.
And I even remember she sent me the link to the website or whatever.
She sent it to you?
Yeah, but when she told me about it later on, when she sent it, she was like, "He's not gonna go for this. Like, fuck that, right? Like, there's no way Quinn would do that." But I was like, I needed something to get out of the house and get out of the rut I was in, and yeah, the schooling, it was all paid for. Like, I didn't have to get student loans or anything. Like, the whole schooling portion was funded, and I got a paycheck basically every week,
Funded by who?
by the Ministry of Health.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so BC Ministry of Health.
So it was called what? HCAP and
So
what?
So what I learned was to be a care aide.
Oh, okay.
So not quite the nurse, the kind of one right under that where you're doing more of the day-to-day helping. So like I would
Like changing bedpans.
Yeah, I would feed people, I would shower them, I would dress them, all sorts of stuff.
All the fun jobs.
Yeah, all the fun stuff, the very
Yeah.
personal and private things that most people
The uplifting stuff.
Yeah. Most people would not want to do this. But at the time, I was like, just open to the new experience. Obviously, I was a little nervous about it at first because who wouldn't be about a new job like that?
Yeah.
And yeah, so when I got hired first, you just work as a support worker, so you don't do any actual care with people. You're just kind of like a glorified janitor. You got to make beds and help out with the food services.
Yeah, okay.
So I did that for about 3 months in the end of 2024, so about August to November when the school started. Even within the first couple weeks of me being at this new site, I was like, I like this. It's like I'm out, I'm talking to people, I'm having a good time. And then the school started, and again, I used to be super against university. I was like, I'm never fucking going to that. It's for yuppies. And then I was like, oh hey, maybe this is okay, and like I can actually do this and accomplish something. And then I did. I almost made the dean's list. I just had one exam that I didn't have an A on, and it just like tanked my GPA. But like I did really well in the program, and I was like, I had faith, I had belief in this system. And then my grandpa passed away during the last couple days, and threw that all through a loop. And now I hate healthcare, and I don't want to be a part of it.
What happened with your grandpa?
So he, around the time right before my dad passed, he used to live in Hawaii half the year. And he was coming home, he was getting off the plane and fell and broke his hip, which is, classic old person injury.
People do
right?
that, yeah.
Yeah, and so eventually we had to move him into a care home because, dad couldn't take care of him all the time, and I couldn't take care of him all the time. He ended up starting to develop dementia. Me and Mason would try and go and visit him as much as we could. Yeah, we found out last couple days of my clinical, like, already graduated. I just was there for a couple days just doing practice. Mason had to call me. I was like, hey, one of those texts where you don't usually expect to be like, hey, when you got a chance, I need to call you about something. Like, didn't really say what it was over text, right? And then, called me. I'm literally in the middle of the building I'm working at, and it's like, grandpa passed away, and I just started fucking bawling my eyes out.
Right in the middle of like school, like your clinicals.
Yeah, basically all around all these employees and
Right.
my classmates and my teacher, right? Yeah, and then that day I went home, talked to my instructor, and she was like, obviously you're not in a good state to be taking care of people right now.
No.
And then, yeah, was still able to finish the rest of the clinical just fine, no issues. I thought all was good and dandy, and that was like, he had just passed away when Mason told me or something, but we found out a few days afterwards that he had actually passed away in March, and that for whatever reason, we just weren't notified, or they couldn't notify us.
What? I don't understand. So he died way before you were told he died?
Yeah, he apparently passed away in March.
When did your brother call you? Like, what month was that?
The end of my clinical was about end of June, early July.
So a month had gone by and they didn't tell you?
About 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
March,
April, May, June,
I'm
July.
thinking May,
So about
June.
4 or 5 months maybe.
So was it the facility that didn't notify you?
Yeah,
Somebody had to
which
know.
yeah, it doesn't make
What?
sense because at those type.
What did they do with him? Don't you have to notify
they still
family?
did the regular things like he had a a Scotia Trust, which was a subsidiary of Scotiabank that like takes care of like he had an executor for his will and all these things, right? So like for the most part they took care of all the ashes and the belongings. But yeah,
your family.
It still really doesn't make sense because when you go to those types of care homes, you got to sign in. We had to take pictures, name, phone number, address. And even when I talked to the guy in charge of the estate, he was like, yeah, we have records here that you guys were visiting. And
Nobody told you that he passed away until months later? That's fucked.
Yeah. Because
Did he have other relatives?
No.
You were his last remaining relatives.
Yeah.
And nobody told you guys.
Nope.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Just another prime example of how the fucking systems are broken.
Yeah, and it's like I get it. Maybe there were some legalities or laws that they couldn't notify us right away for whatever reason, but they couldn't. This is what even crazier about it too. Um, they had to hire what they call a tracing company to actually find me and my brother. Thank God Mason puts himself out there on the internet pretty much. But yeah, it's like really Ridge, obviously just shitty, right? It's like
Where was the facility? Was it in the Lower Mainland too?
yeah, it was in Surrey. It's a place called Peace Portal.
What the fuck? That's not very far away.
Nope. Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
still don't know the full
shocking.
autopsy. Or it's like he could have just been not doing well.
What did
like,
they do with him? Like, okay, there's an executor of his will, but
Yeah.
like, what did they do with the body?
They cremated based on the will.
But that's it.
Yep.
Because you guys are young, I guess, so you're maybe in the will, and he had an executor of the will. So who was the executor of his will?
I never met her personally. It was some lawyer that he knew, and
Just a lawyer.
They actually did take really good care of everything, and
That's great, but
Same
also
with-
like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Family is supposed to know.
yeah, it's a shitty situation all around.
Weird.
It's like I'm sure the people that were in charge felt bad too, because it's like we were trying to get a hold of you, but we just couldn't find you.
Even though you'd visited and your information was like probably right there.
Yeah, something doesn't make sense.
Something
but
doesn't add up there.
for me, it's like even if I
Hmm.
tried to dig into it, like what's the point? Like it's just gonna create more headaches.
I guess.
And more sadness, and
And it doesn't change the fact that like he's gone and
Yeah.
can't do anything about what that situation ended up being, but
Yep.
that is strange.
Yeah, and then I assumed that he wasn't gonna leave us anything because those care homes are expensive, but it was another weird Hollywood type trope moment where Mason got the number. I'm not gonna say the exact number.
Okay, I don't need to know it.
Is-
A good number? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
split between us. But yeah, he was like, "You might want to sit down."
Thanks, Grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah. And so coming back to the whole healthcare thing, it's like
Don't blow that money on drugs, Quinn.
I've invested 90 to 95% of it, and we're still getting.
Oh, that's smart.
We're
That's
still getting.
good.
We're still getting more. We only got the first.
Do you like heavy
pay.
metal? Let's go to a metal show.
Oh yeah. Well, I was
You
talking
do.
about.
You like Mammoth, right? You were talking to me about Mammoth. What
Uh,
else do you listen to?
Oh fuck! I listen to so much. Like anything. I'm just a music lover, man.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of like Tool, Pantera. You know, I still listen to like the Beatles. I still listen to classical and
Cool.
jazz and like stuff from the 40s and 50s.
All the things.
Yeah, I absolutely love Wolfgang Van Halen. He is such an amazing artist.
Yeah, when I saw them, when my brother and I went to Metallica in Edmonton a couple of years ago, and I was really impressed. He's really good live. I was like, what? I didn't even know who he was. when
Yeah,
I got there.
I relate to him and his music a lot because
Mm.
Eddie passed away a month before my dad, and it's like I grew up.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up with Van Halen with my dad, and he grew up with it too. And then
Mm.
the very first song that Wolfie released was called "Distance," and it's just like a song and all these video montages of him and his dad growing up, and it's just
Oh,
a song
fuck.
about dealing with death, and like anyone that's
Yeah.
had someone pass away, they can relate to it.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
And so he released that song basically the day that we found out that he passed. So
Holy shit.
I cannot listen to that song without absolutely bawling my eyes out.
Oh, fuck.
But fuck, what were we talking about before the music segue?
Your grandpa.
Oh yeah, but you know, with the healthcare things, it's like one of those things where it's kind of good that I figured out that I don't want to do it long term. Just like all my other previous jobs, construction, I can't spend the rest of my life working for the man. I need to work for myself and pursue things
Mhm.
that actually make me happy. So I'm gonna go back to school and do something with music and arts. Like maybe I'll become
that's
a
awesome.
music teacher or learn how to make guitars, sell guitars. I could join an orchestra and travel the world. I'm one of those people that once I set my mind to it, anything is possible.
Do you play guitar?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that about you.
Maybe show you some on my
I
wall.
did
over
not
here.
know that about you.
Yeah.
Look at those fucking guitars.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I got a
I love
Eddie
that.
Van Halen, Frankie, and then the other one is
Of course you do.
the other one is a Wolfgang signature series. So I play
That's
quite a bit.
awesome. And like having that, little bit of I guess support with the money that came in from your grandpa is a little bit of a cushion to let you know that you can take some time to figure it out. Too.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't
exactly.
get that opportunity, and so and because you're struggling with all this mental health stuff, you mentioned so you mentioned anxiety and ADHD.
Mhm.
We have had like a conversation very briefly about anxiety because you reached out to me after your mom forced you to listen to my podcast.
She did not force me. I was genuinely
Suggested.
genuinely interested, and I was like, I should.
And then we had some pretty candid conversations just around like mental health and but you said you have been struggling with anxiety. But what is different now that you like what pieces of that are coming into your life that weren't there before? Like you've battled with depression, you've got you're on SSRIs, you're dealing with that kind of stuff and you've had insomnia. So now what has come in that's new? You're saying anxiety, but like what's shifted? What's different with that?
The whole healthcare thing and the grandpa thing, because it's like
Something just like set off in your body? Or?
Well, it's like with the money, I think most people would be like jumping for joy, like, oh, buying a new house, buying a new car. But for me, it's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, I would trade all of that money to have the goodbye that I was robbed of.
Yeah,
Same
totally.
with what my dad left us.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, I just want to hug him and talk to him again. It's like money doesn't mean shit.
Yeah. So your dad and your grandpa died unexpectedly. And then you didn't get notified about your grandpa, but your dad died completely unexpectedly and you didn't get to say anything to him either, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's always a shock when I think at any age we don't want to lose our parents, but like you're fucking young. You're in your 20s. You were really early in your 20s and like grief. Man, I mean, I've been through lots of levels of grief. I've been to funerals. I've lost people that I love. I have not lost a parent. I don't know what that feels like. I imagine
it feels like shit.
The level of grief that I've experienced with friends that like losing a parent would be a fucking deep, significant, horrifying thing to go through.
Yeah, well, it doesn't change when you get old. It's like even if you're 60 and your dad was 80, it's like doesn't matter.
No, and also when you're younger, right? Like that stuff hits you harder.
Oh yeah.
When you're in your 40s and you've already lost a few people, you kind of not that you get used to it, but like have you had like any sort of significant loss in your life before that?
Not really.
The first time you lose someone, it's your dad?
Yeah. It's like the person that I spent the most time with. He was my hero. He was my best friend.
Yeah.
I have had a lot of people that I knew in high school that aren't here anymore because suicide or drug overdose. But they were more just acquaintances. It wasn't like
totally. Well, and a parent is a fucking huge piece of your life, right? And knowing that they're not there for you anymore and won't be again is like once you walk through that door of grief too, it just like it changes who you are as a person permanently. Yeah. Like forever. Yeah. I will never be the same person that I was before I knew what death felt like ever. Yeah. And when you experience that level of grief, oh my gosh, it's awful.
It's the most crazy and intense series of emotions that I've ever felt.
And you can't explain that to someone. Like if you have not been through that, you don't know what that feels like. You can't explain it. You can't relate to it unless you've been in that space, and it's fucking horrible.
Like the absolute highest of highs and the absolute lowest of lows. There's no middle ground when you're dealing with grief. It's like you're either over here or you're over here.
And it shifts over time. But it doesn't go away, right? Like that loss that you feel of not having that person in your life anymore, that stays with you forever. It's just like a piece of your fucking soul and your heart. It just isn't there anymore, right? When it's someone that you really have that connection with. And I think there's a lot to be said around, going through that experience too, and like how fucking traumatic that probably was for you.
Oh, yeah.
And with your dad and then with your grandpa, and now you're going through these spells of like, if it's anxiety, like what are your symptoms? Like what are you
like
experiencing?
Fear and panic and not wanting to make phone calls and do the little things. It was like December or something. One of my roommates just got his license in a car, so him and I were just going out for drives all the time, doing all these cool fun things, and then I got sick in January, and it was like I didn't want to do anything. And the last time I did go out in public for like 20 minutes with him, it was just like the worst amount of dread possible. It was like overwhelming, overstimulation, too many people, the cars, the lights, the sounds, the smells. It's like, very simple social things that I used to love going out and doing. Like now it's like I don't want to do any of that.
It's weird too, right? Like you don't
Yeah.
always notice that it's happening. And
Yeah.
then one day you wake up and you're like, I can't go to that's what happened. I can't go in the store without my heart rate being 143 beats per
Yeah.
minute. Like what the fuck? My anxiety's been so fucking bad this week. My chest pain is awful.
Mm.
Every time I take a breath, it feels like I'm going to choke on my own fucking
Ooh,
heart.
yeah. I get a little bit of chest pains here and there too.
I have not been having a good week. And it just depends on what's going on in my life too. But once you reach a point of your nervous system like being trapped in trauma for so long, and I think it takes a while to build. I mean, I'm not a fucking expert. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I'm just basing on my own personal experience. It's
Yeah.
like it builds over time, I think, and then suddenly it's just like you don't realize it's taken over your whole fucking life. I'm just like, what happened to me? I used to be able to like sit in a room full of strangers and talk to everyone. I used to go to the fucking bar by myself. I'd sit at the bar and talk to the bartender. I'd just talk to the person beside me. I'd go to the movies
Mm-hmm.
by myself. I loved being out. I would just go meet people. I've traveled. Like I had never had any fear of anything in my whole fucking life. And now I can't go in the grocery store at noon on a fucking Saturday or I'll die.
I used to like doing all these things and holding doors for people, and I always try and if I'm at the grocery store or like a restaurant, I always try to look at their name tag and say like thank you, use their
Totally.
names, because they just get treated like a cog in the machine. Yeah, and then suddenly it's like fuck that. I don't do any of that.
And
And
have you
then
like we talked a little bit about I've talked a little bit about counseling and I think I've asked you this, but have you dug into any of this? I mean, you've had some really fucking significant things going on in your life.
mhm.
You were robbed at fucking gunpoint, whether that's real or not. Your dad passed away very suddenly and like traumatically, and then your grandpa. I mean, and everyone's different and everyone's on their own fucking journey with like what they're going through in their life. But it took me fucking years, but it did help me quite a bit. Have you dug into any of that in counseling or therapy at all?
Yes, we're definitely starting to touch on these types of subjects now that I'm going
Mm-hmm.
back to counseling. The research I've done and just the people I talk to that all have these problems, they're like, it sounds like you have the same thing as I do. Like with the ADHD, it's like I cannot focus on a certain task. If I'm trying to do one thing, I'll end up stopping mid process and doing something completely else. And then it's like, oh, my clothes have been wet in the dryer, and I forgot to start the dryer for like 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Just like multitasking, not actually getting anything done. Um,
I find pieces of that really interesting too because you mentioned that you're going to get potentially be diagnosed with
mhm.
ADHD. And I've had people say to me over the years, sounds like that might be something that I also have because of the way that I move through just life now. But I've never been diagnosed with that. For me personally, I don't think that diagnosis lands on me. I think that with anxiety and PTSD and trauma that a lot of those symptoms overlap,
Mhm.
like being in that state of like fight flight mode all the time and like that self-preservation mode that you're in when you're like trying to protect yourself from something really bad that's happened and your body is like so tightly wound in those spaces. I think that like pieces of your health just fucking collapse after that, right? Like I've had
Yeah.
years and years and years of holding myself in this space and now I've got memory loss and now I can't focus on shit. And like I think that there are probably lots of overlapping symptoms with different mental health things.
Yeah.
But I find it really interesting because there are pieces of things that are like there that I'm like, well, maybe. But I mean, I also think like we're living in a world where everyone's on their fucking phones all the time and like my daughter
Mhm.
doesn't can't focus on something longer than fucking 16 seconds before like
Yeah.
she's bored, right? Or she's distracted by something. Not to say that that is like what's going on with you. Obviously you've got lots of things. We all do that a little bit, right? And I know even but when I work on the computer all day, I'll be staring at my
Mm.
computer and I'll forget like I'll be working really hard at something and then I'll get a text message and then I'm like having a conversation with somebody, right? And then I'm not working. And then I take a
Mhm.
phone call. And then I'm like, oh, I need to post something on Instagram for my work. And then I'm scrolling, so distracted because I was supposed to be posting something, but now I'm reading this meme. And now I'm looking at
Yeah,
this
you
video.
just
And now I'm
you
listening
see
to a
one
song.
reel and then you just
Right. And I
start
think that there's
swiping.
just like pieces of society now that that's just normal because we're all
Oh
fucking
yeah.
doing it. Like, is that ADHD or is that just we're all fucking distracted because we've got too many things going on?
Yeah.
And like in the 90s, we didn't have anything. If you want to do something, you had to go the fuck outside. If you want to talk to
Yeah.
somebody, you had to see them in person. We have access to so many things now that I don't know how we're focusing on anything anymore. I threaten at least once a week to sell all of my shit and move somewhere else and live in a shack in the middle of
Oh,
nowhere. and talk to no one. That's my
Yeah,
best life. I
I'm
don't know
very
why I'm
close.
not
I'm
doing
very
that.
close to that same decision. You're
Right?
gonna go
Like,
be a hermit in the woods and live off the land. All
what are
this shit
we
is just
doing
crazy.
here? Right? I know. It's, yeah.
Yeah, I try to ignore all of it, but lately it's impossible not to.
Things are just being thrown at you, deliberately thrown at you to
Yep.
create chaos. And, like, we can have lots of conversations, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's no love, there's no respect, common sense anymore. It's just like if you're different than me, go fuck yourself.
It is like that. And I think that is like, it's interesting that you say that because I just had a conversation with my daughter about that like yesterday. But also, I think that in itself has a huge impact on our mental health. How come everyone thinks if you're not like me and you don't think like me, you can go fuck yourself? I think we've definitely lost touch with that piece of humanity of
Yep.
like, we can have differences of opinions and we can like different things and we can still connect as human beings on many other levels.
Yep.
Is so strange to me that people have developed this complete like disassociation from each other based specifically just on their own personal beliefs. Like, if you don't believe this, then fuck you. If you aren't like me, fuck you. It's crazy. I think it's amplified on a level I've never seen in my entire fucking life. And it's really scary. How does that not impact your mental health?
Yeah, it's not a functional society.
It's not.
I think it's totally okay and healthy to disagree and have those differing opinions. I'm personally one of those people that like I try not to judge a book by its cover and
that's the
try
worst part of
to-
it too, is like that
Yeah.
there's just all this yapping without anything to like even back it up. Nonsense. A lot of it
not
is just
everything's
nonsense.
for everybody, right? It's like
Absolutely.
there's some hard fast stuff where it's just like, nope, I don't like that, I don't believe in it, and I'm not going to. It's like that's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally
Yeah.
okay.
And we're allowed to do
you know-
that as well, but it doesn't have to be like to the point where it's like
like,
you're dead to me.
Yeah, like ruining relationships over something small and petty like that. It's like,
Yeah.
is it really worth it?
Like deep leveled shit where you're just like annihilated by somebody because they're like, I refuse to fucking have a conversation with you about this. You're wrong.
Yep.
No, bye.
Yeah, or it's like the hardcore religious people that are like, if you don't believe in this, you're going to hell. It's like, I've never been to hell. I don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah, you can tell me all day long I'm going to hell. I'm not religious. I don't believe in hell.
Yeah.
There is one. Yeah, I guess I'll deal with it when I get there if that's where I'm going. That's your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, and your belief system, and that's okay
Yeah,
with me. If
and
that's how you feel and you think that is what's going to happen
Mhm.
to me personally, I'm okay with that. It doesn't impact me in a way that like is going to ruin my fucking life.
if we could all just get on the same page, maybe, just maybe, we could. Fix
Oh, we'll never
things.
get the world all on the same page. But like, and also at the end of the day, does that fucking matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it really personally going to destroy your life if
No.
somebody around you doesn't think the same way that you do or believe in the same things that you do? And like the whole mentality of, us versus them and you versus me is just bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just like a way to create fear and anger in people, and it's exhausting. And the fact that so many people are living like that is also exhausting. I find it really hard on
Yeah.
my own mental health to watch. I mean, I'll sit here and have a healthy debate with somebody. We can discuss things, anything. I will have conversations. At the end of the day, if we don't agree, I'm still going to sleep at night.
We only have so much time on this planet. It's like,
And do we really want to spend it just fucking yelling at each other? Oh my gosh. So you've been through so much. This journey of depression and then grief, and now you're dealing with like anxiety and potentially ADHD.
mhm.
What is your plan moving forward with your mental health? Like what are you going to do with like, so say you have ADHD and what's your plan with your anxiety? Like, how are you going to cope with all this stuff?
If the meds don't work, it's like I just gotta
Right.
do the things that naturally I can figure out on my own, right? It's like meditation. When I'm sitting there playing guitar, I'm only playing guitar. I'm not doing a million other things at once, right?
I love that.
I gotta really try and lock in and focus on something, or else I'll just get carried away. I have to deal with it in healthy ways. All the lifestyle choices and the better habits I'm trying to create are starting to pay off. I will have the clarity to know that I've had these problems the whole time, and now I know I can attack it.
I'm a huge advocate
yeah.
for therapy. I mean, I've had I've had probably 3 or 4 different therapists. It takes a couple tries to find one that fits
Yeah.
what you're dealing with, but I have nothing but good things to say. A lot of it was really hard. Having that space where you can just be completely open and honest. And it's just this neutral space too, right? Like it's not the same as discussing it with like a friend or a family member
No.
who already knows you and is prematurely probably fucking judging everything that you're saying.
Again, I used to be very against that type of stuff. Like, oh, I don't need therapy or counseling. Fucking, that's a scam. It's like, nope. I think genuinely, if you need it and you want it, it can be beneficial for anyone and everyone. It's just like you got to be willing to put in the energy for it.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely. I know. And I think it's interesting too that a lot of people are like, fuck therapy, it doesn't work. And I don't believe that nonsense. And it's, you know, you get garbage this and garbage that. But then they will sit there and either like drink too much, do a
Yeah.
bunch of drugs, and then fall apart about their mental health problems because they
Yeah.
haven't found a place to like properly put them and process them and deal with them, which is literally what therapy helps you do, right? It's not going to
Yeah.
like fix you, quote unquote, but it will teach you how to like healthy ways to deal with the stuff that you're going through that isn't
Yeah.
going to like impact the people around you, or you're putting it on someone next to you. And like talking to friends and family is one thing, right? Like you need to talk to the people you love about what you're going
Mhm.
through, but putting all of that stuff, especially if it's significant, you know, on the people around you, and or just diving into a bottle of fucking booze to drown it out, right? Is like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't believe in therapy, but I believe in this giant bottle of vodka. I
Yeah.
want to touch on this really briefly and then wrap it up for the day because this is getting
Mhm.
long. But I think about this all the time because I have girlfriends in my life and we're pretty open about discussing things as things are going
Mhm.
on and coming up in our lives. But like, I don't know a lot about the male relationship. I definitely don't know a lot about like your generation either.
Yeah.
Do you talk about and discuss openly mental health stuff with each other?
We have a lot of very deep and important talks
Do you?
quite often, and like,
Oh, that gives me so much hope for humanity.
yeah, first moved in here, I just broke up with my ex, and my roommate just broke up with his, and it's like we were both going through it, right? So,
Yeah. Do you guys talk about that stuff with each other?
oh yeah,
You do.
yeah, we bring up all sorts of stuff. It's like him and I, we talk about, you know, his religious views and how
Yeah.
I view the word like God, or view all these things, right? Sometimes we get to a point where it's like agree to disagree, and then we're fine. We all treat each other as brothers.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I always wonder, like, if I could be a fly on a wall in a room full of men, if I would enjoy that or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how deep do you get with each other? Do you have these conversations? Because I know
Yeah.
as women, we're pretty in touch with our emotions, right? And
Mhm.
just like we can dive into it. But yeah, so I love hearing that. I think that's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, Quinn, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I really
Good
appreciate
stuff.
you coming on the show. I have loved talking to you. I love,
Yeah.
I've always thought you were really like fun to talk to.
Yeah, it's been overdue.
Thank you so much for like sharing your story and for coming on the show and
You're
like
welcome.
talking openly about all the shit you've gone through. That I mean,
Yeah.
so many people just wouldn't do that. I appreciate you coming on. We will. I definitely want to have you back. Talk about. I mean, we can dig into lots of other things, I'm sure. But I'm just happy to have someone on the show because I've been getting really tired of talking to myself. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Headbanging Through It. Peace.